already here. He's already sharing his.
Yeah, I've started.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Lilananda, I just would like to ask you that.
Sorry, last class I was stuck in a meeting. In the last minute I could not come back to it. Yeah.
Even you got the message that showed open book assignments are with us. Send that link again, please. The same link is showing the closed book as well as the open book. So the closed book assignments of the Ishopanishad are there with us with the link, but the open book assignments are not there, Prabhu. So will you please make it sure we are getting that link?
Really? Yeah, I think I had again sent it.
Yeah, both the links are showing only closed books, Prabhuji.
Oh, okay. I'll check it out, Prabhuji. I'm checking out again.
Yes, Prabhuji. So shall we start?
Yes.
Yes, Prabhu.
Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namaha Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pesthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschat Deshatarane. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langayate grim yat kripatamaham vande Shri Guru Dinataranam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanyeshwaram. So I welcome all of you in this evening
Hare Krishna.
of this Bhagavad Gita's 7th chapter.
Prabhuji, sorry to interrupt, Prabhuji. I'll just take 1 minute so that I'm just sharing my screen. 1 minute, please. Allow me for this. Here is what is the open book, Prabhuji. As you can see, Ishopanishad open book assignments. And
will you please open that?
Yeah, you see, all of them are open book exams only. OBA. I can open any one of them. Like Vendala Mataji. Ishopanishad open book, right? Question and answer.
Will you please send that link?
Yeah, I think this is what I had sent but I'll anyway send it again. See, all I'm doing is I'm going here to Ishopanishad open book assignments, get link. Yes, copy the link, and I'm going to send it to you by email. Again, the same thing. I don't know why confusion happened. Yeah,
both the links. Unfortunately, it was a closed book only.
Both the links,
it was even open book.
Even the nectar of instruction.
No. Ishopanishad.
Ishopanishad. Okay. I'm sending it now, Pro. Yeah. Sorry, Pro. You can take the screen. I'm stopping to share. Yeah. You can take the screen again.
Just 1 minute. Just 1 minute.
It is the same link. Prabhuji, unfortunately, it is the same link, Prabhuji. I don't know why it was going for. Prabhuji, is it? I'm sorry to do this, but check this link again.
Just 1 minute. I will just check with whether Radhesham Prabhu is talking or his assistant is talking with me. So we'll just move it.
Yeah.
Sorry. Hare
Yeah.
Krishna.
Yeah, Prabhuji, don't mind, I think just a minute. So, can you go to your Yahoo mail? You don't have to share the screen and just open and tell me once. I have again sent the same link.
Oh, last time. Not Yahoo mail, but
Sorry,
voice.
yeah.
Voice
Which
mail.
I've sent it to your email ID. Just check your email ID once and try opening it, and you should see it, because last time also I sent the same link. I've just seen the link is same. Open book, Isha Upanishad. So, is everyone eager to get their marks for open book? While Prabhuji checks it. I think I've seen 47 of you for Bhagavad Gita open book. So that's kind of done, I believe.
It's taking time.
Yeah, it'll just take 1 minute. So if there is a problem, I can work on it. Because the same link, Prabhuji, I checked the link. It is the same that I sent previously also. Has it opened, Prabhuji?
Not yet. It will be opening. Just a
Oh,
minute.
internet is slow, maybe.
Opening the link. Oh, you should open book assignments. It's taking time. Yeah. I feel now I got the current one. Yeah, now I got it too. First one is Akinchin Priya Prabhu. Okay. I got it, Prabhu. Okay, Prabhu. Thank you. So you are able to see this?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah. So 7th chapter, still it is going on. This is the 4th session, and we are unfortunately having only 18 sessions. So the speed we have to go in a very fast speed, and not only in the fast speed, but everybody should understand what I am teaching. So it is a challenge for me to go swiftly, as well as everybody should understand. So till 23rd shloka of the 7th chapter we have covered. Now this theme is the impersonalist. From this 24th to 28th, till 20 to 23rd, it was the demigod worshippers who was why they are not understanding and they are doing the demigod worships. Now Krishna is talking more about the impersonalist from 24 to 28. So we will be reciting the shloka, reading the translation, and a fast commentary also, and in between I will be speaking something very important. Avyaktam vyaktimapannam manyante mama buddhaya
Manyante mama
Buddhaya
Param bhavam ajananto
Param
Bhavajananto
mam avyayam anuttamam.
Mamavyayam Manottamam.
Somebody can read the translation.
Hare
Krishna. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Unintelligent men who do not know me perfectly think that I, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, was impersonal before and have now assumed this personality. Due to their small knowledge, they do not know my higher nature, which is imperishable and supreme.
So Krishna here it is mentioning that these people, those who are unintelligent, they are not knowing my nature. And they are saying that I have come from impersonal and now I took a form as a temporary form. And originally I am impersonal only. So they are the abuddhaya. They are not knowing who am I. Avyaktam vyakti mapannam. They are just thinking that I am avyakta, and from the avyakta the vyakti has come. So that's why that they are ajananto. Param bhavam, they are not knowing, they are ajanto. They are abuddhaya. Krishna is criticizing them by the word abuddhaya. Sometimes Krishna is saying by the mudha. Sometimes he is saying the abuddhaya or less intelligent. So next. Yes, somebody can read this one.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yeah.
The others were considered as less intelligent or small intelligence, but these are called abuddhayaha, no intelligence. The Lord describes the demigod worshippers as less intelligent, alpa medasama. The impersonalists are described even less charitably as abuddhayaha, unintelligent. Due to their limited knowledge, they do not know the higher nature of Krishna, which is imperishable and supreme. Since they do not know the Lord perfectly, they think that Krishna has assumed his personality from the impersonal feature. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur describes their false conclusion in this commentary on the verse 24. Krishna says, the unintelligent think that the formless Brahman beyond the material world, Avyaktam, has taken birth as myself in the house of Vasudeva, Vyaktam, with an illusionary form. What is now visible as Krishna is just an illusionary form. This is because they do not know my transcendental state. They do not know that my form, birth, activities, and pastimes are beyond Maya. Mama param bhavam. What type of state is this? It is eternal, avyayam, and most intelligent, anuttamam. This bogus theory only proves that one cannot understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead simply by mental speculation or by discussing Vedic literature. One must understand him by devotional service. Since the Mayavadis do not believe in the devotional service to the Supreme Lord, they are bereft of any means of understand him, and are thus appropriately called mudha, fools. The Lord Krishna is covered by his eternal energy, and therefore such fools and
Lord
foolish,
Krishna is covered by his internal energy.
Lord Krishna by his internal energy, and therefore such foolish and unintelligent people cannot know that he is unborn with an eternal form of bliss and knowledge, and the supreme controller of inexhaustible energies. Hare Krishna.
So the demigod worshippers somewhat better than the impersonalist. They are alpamedhasam, but these are the abuddhaya. Krishna is heavily criticizing them. Abuddhiya, tumko buddhi nahi hai. You don't have the small intelligence also. So the Krishna is more criticizing to them, and Krishna is not happy with these people, impersonalists, because they are saying that Krishna is not having a form, or is taking a form temporarily. But Krishna says that I am having the eternal form I am having, and from me the energy is coming, the Brahman, and that is not having a form, and that you are calling me as that. It's like you are not calculating my form rightly. You are not understanding my form rightly, and whatever the form I am showing, you are saying it is a magical one or temporary. So you are less intelligent. Not less intelligent, you don't have any brain. Then 25th. Naham prakash sarvasya yoga maya samavrita
Yogamaya
mudhoyam na bhijanati
Mudhoyam nabhijanati
loko mam ajam avyayam.
loko mamajamavyayam.
If the same consciousness or the same bhava or the same mood of Krishna our acharyas are carrying, where Krishna is heavily criticizing the impersonalist Mayavadis. So that's why our Simha Guru Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Pad also criticizes heavily to the impersonalist Mayavadis. And Krishna, in all the Gita verses, he is not speaking mudha, abuddhiya, or less intelligent. But in this section, he is speaking heavily. He is taking a free hand on the impersonalist. All over the Gita, whichever the sections it is having, the Bhakti Yoga or Jnana Yoga, he is not speaking at all a single word like that. Initially, he spoke something that to Arjuna, you are anarya justam aswargyam akirti, you are anarya, you are not civilized man. And these 2-3 shlokas only he spoke that. But after that, he has not spoken any such language, any such words. But now he is taking a free hand over the impersonalist to criticize heavily. And that's why the acharyas, those who are carrying the same mood of Krishna, they are also criticizing heavily. Wherever Srila Prabhupada gets an opportunity to talk about the impersonalist or the Mayavadis, he is condemning heavily. Because Krishna is condemning heavily. So that's why the servants of Krishna, the devotees of Krishna, they are also condemning heavily. Somebody can read the translation.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, I have one question, Prabhu. So, Prabhuji, even though it's so clearly written in these shlokas, why are impersonalists so prevalent, and what is their argument against Prabhuji? It's so very clear. It's not even speculative or inconclusive. What was the reason? What do they say about these shlokas?
These shlokas, they are misinterpreting. The wordings, they are misinterpreting. Mudhoyam na bhijanati. They are saying that not to us. Those who are saying that my form, where it is written that my form is temporary, or my form is not temporary, where it is, this is avyaktam. They are playing the word jugglery. Avyaktam vyakti mapannam. So like that, Brahmano hi pratisthaham. The shloka comes that. Then they are saying that Brahman is the foundation by this shloka. But the original meaning of that, like the people can play with the word jugglery in a Sanskrit. So that way they are playing and they are misinterpreting. But in a Bhagavatam 10th canto or in a Bhagavatam, they cannot interpret the words also. So that's why the Mayavadis or impersonalists, they don't give their commentary over this Amala Puran. So that's why it is called Amala Puran. There is no misconceptions. All the misconceptions are gone by this. But here, even though Krishna is speaking so crystal clear, the people are doing some interpretation, because Gita has been accepted as the Dharma Grantha. So in a Dharma Grantha, everyone is accepting the Gita as the main text. So that's why they are trying to play with that. What our acharyas are saying, what Shankaracharyas are saying, what this Mayavadi is saying. So they are trying to play with that words. And they are, wherever the Krishna is mentioning about me, myself, they are saying that within me. Actually, Krishna, he is not saying it is he, it is within Krishna. So Avyaktam is, it is within Krishna something. Translation, somebody can read this.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Go ahead, Mataji.
Okay, Prabhuji.
My request to you all that this whole section of the Gitas, even though it is not there in some of the shlokas are not there for by hearting, but for a preaching sake, if you can just by heart. So whenever the impersonalists are there in front of us, we can quote. I am not saying, Krishna is saying this. So it will be good for the preaching application for us. Hare Krishna. Please read.
Prabhuji, I am reading, Prabhuji. I am never manifest to the foolish and unintelligent. For them, I am covered by my internal potency, and therefore they do not know that I am unborn and infallible. This is why they don't understand, because they are covered by Krishna's internal potency. Yoga Maya Samavritta. They are mudas, they are fools. They receive greater condemnation than the demigods worshippers. These people cannot see Krishna. There is a covering for them. But is that Krishna cannot see them?
So
Next
the
26.
question rises that okay, Krishna has made the covering for these people. So the Krishna is also undercover. So the Krishna says that no, I am not undercover of this. I made the covering happen over you people because you are the Baddhas, but I am not. I can see. So it is like that the person who is there inside the office or inside the car and it is having the tinted glasses. That person can see outside world. But these people, those who are outside, they are just trying to comb their hairs and say that nobody is watching us. So the same way Krishna is seeing, but we are not able to see. So that's why it is an illusion that nobody is seeing that, okay, we are all covered, including Krishna also. But the Krishna is seeing. So that shloka is that what Krishna is seeing, that Krishna is mentioning here in 26th shloka. Vedaham samatitani.
Samatitani.
Vartamanani cha Arjuna.
Vartamanani cha Arjuna.
Bhavishyani cha bhutani.
Bhavishyani cha bhutani.
Mam tu vedana kaschana.
Mam tu vedana kashana.
Kashana.
We can read this one.
Oh Arjuna, as the supreme personality of Godhead, I know everything that has happened in the past, all that is happening in the present, and all things that are yet to come. I also know that all living entities, but no one knows. The living entities may be covered. The living entities may be covered, but Krishna is never covered, nor his knowledge. How is it after describing that the living entities are bewildered and covered, that they become bewildered? What is the bewildering factor? Should I continue, Prabhu?
Yeah, please.
The Lord is covered by his energy, which prevents unqualified persons from understanding him. But this covering does not work both ways. Although no one knows him, the Lord, being the source of everything, knows past, present, and future, and also all living entities. On the other hand, nobody knows Krishna completely, because everybody, even the most exalted personalities, must be under the influence of either Mahamaya or Yogamaya according to their qualifications.
Krishna statement.
Statement.
Yeah. So, please go on.
Krishna's statement that he fully knows past, present, and future again proves that his form is not material. Unless one is liberated from material contamination, he cannot have such perfect knowledge. Hare Krishna.
So this in this shloka, Krishna is saying that the people are those mudhas, they are not knowing me because there is a covering by me only to others. And that you don't think that like the covering is there on me. I am not covered. Vedaham samatitani vartamanani cha arjuna bhavishyani cha bhutani mam tu vedana kashchana. I know everything. I know the past, I know the future, I know the present, everything I am aware of that. But you people are not. Sometimes the people say that I know Krishna, I know everything. But Krishna says that nobody can know me fully. Even the Balramji was not knowing this Leela after this Aghasur pastime. The Brahma Vimohan Leela happened. That time, 1 year it took for Balramji. What has exactly happened? What exactly happened? That Balramji is also not knowing. But that Krishna can reveal the things to us as per our surrender. As per our surrender, the covering will be fading away. The covering will go, or it will become thinner, and one day it will go. But by that going of the covering, means it is not that I know Krishna entirely, purely, everything I know about Krishna. No. You may be knowing about this material world to some extent, you may be knowing about the spiritual world to some extent, but there are certain things you may not be knowing at all. And that we don't want to know at all. Whatever Krishna is revealing as per our the spiritual practices, that is enough for us. Krishna is saying that once you start knowing everything, then you will be more bewildered. Like I can bewilder Brahmaji, I can bewilder Shiva, I can bewilder the greatest of the devotees. Who are you then? Everybody is bewildered. Indra has been bewildered. Brahmaji has been bewildered. Shiva got bewildered. So when they started exhibiting, why these people got bewildered? Because they came to know that I know everything now. Why this small boy is eating the jhuta or the remnants of his cowherd friends, and these people are calling him as a Supreme Personality of Godhead? I cannot believe, because I know everything. Shiva thought that I will not be bewildered by that Mohini Murti form. So that's why he asked in that mode that, will you please show me that Mohini Murti form? And Krishna checked with him again and again and asked him that, whether, are you sure? Are you sure? And for the Shiva, the special Mohini Murti form was been managed by Krishna. Not the same form which was bewildering the other devatas, but a very special form Krishna took it. Because he was knowing that he is a Mahadev, he is a Shiva, he is a Vaishnavanam Yatha Shambho. to bewilder such personality, some extra endeavors are required, some extra features are required. So some extra features, beautiful features he managed. So whatever the Mohini Murti form which was been shown to the Shiva, it was not the same where the Mohini came and was serving the Devatas and demons. There was a difference between these two forms. Some slight changes the Krishna made it. So nobody knows Krishna perfectly. Only Krishna can know himself. But the personalities like Radharani, she is Madan Mohan Mohini. She can say that I know you, Krishna. I know your bhava, because she is the epitome of devotion towards Krishna. And she can say that I know Krishna. That Krishna who is cheating me, the cheater of the cheater, I know him. Why she can say like that? Because she is having that type of devotion. Because of the devotion, she can say like that. So that's why the Radharani is the topmost devotee. And that rasa Krishna wanted to test. The Krishna wanted to test the rasa of the Radharani, and he is appearing in the mood of Radharani in the form of Lord Chaitanya. So that's why the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's devotion, which is Radharani's devotion in full extent. So the next shloka. Ichha dvesha samuthena Dvandva mohena bharata Sarva bhutani sammoham Sarge yanti parantapa. But you can read the translation and the commentary.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, I will read.
Yeah, please.
O scion of Bharata, O conqueror of the foe, all living entities are born into delusion, bewildered by dualities arisen from desire and hate. If everybody is born into delusion, how some people become devoted? In verse 27, the Lord explains when and how the living entities come under the influence of his illusory energy. In the beginning of creation of the universe, Sarge, all the jivas, sarva bhutani, become bewildered because they desire objects pleasant for the senses and hate everything which obstructs the pleasures of the senses. The desires and hate are activated by ancient impressions stocked in the mind of the
Sorry. Just
of the conditioned soul.
mind of the condition soul. Yeah,
Desire
please.
and hate give rise to illusion of duality, honor and dishonor, happiness and distress, man and woman. This duality causes complete ignorance, moha, which leads to complete bewilderment, sammoham. Bewilderment manifests as extreme attachment to matter. The problem with extreme attachment to matter is that it renders one unqualified for devotional service, as it is stated in Srimad Bhagavatam 11.20.8. If
So
somehow
now here it is mentioning that how it has come. Because of the dvandva, desire and hate, it arises the illusion of the duality. And then the duality, where in a second chapter of the Gita, Sukha Dukha Same Kritva Labha Labho Jaya Jo, that personality, the Krishna is saying that you go beyond the dvandva and see everything in the same manner. Sukha Dukha Same Kritva. Don't why we are there in this world, because we are there in a dvandva. And why this dvandva is there? Because we are liking something and we are disliking something. This is also a Dvandva. But by that, this happiness, distress, man and woman, what I like, what I don't like. And by that, the moha is being created. And moha means it is complete ignorance, it is mentioned. And then when the moha increases in a complete extent, it is sammoham. And by that sammoham, the people are not understanding. Complete bewildered situation in that the people cannot understand Krishna. Because they are not understanding whether it is right or it is wrong, or Krishna is good or bad. Krishna's activities are good or bad. They are always considering the Krishna's activities in this Dvandva situation. It is good. Sometimes Krishna has done a good thing, sometimes Krishna has done a bad thing. So the good and bad, they are trying to see in Krishna also. So by that Dvandva, we cannot understand Krishna. And it is leading towards a sammoham, complete bewilderment. You please continue the reading. Srimad Bhagavatam 11.2, 20.8.
If somehow or the other, by good fortune, one develops faith in hearing and chanting my glories, such a person, being neither very disgusted with nor attached to material life, should achieve perfection through the path of loving devotion to me. What is wrong with desiring happiness and hating distress? The desire for happiness by itself cannot be wrong because it is natural for the soul. What is wrong is when it cannot connect to Krishna. Sri Ramanujacharya explains this in his commentary to verse 27. By that delusive force, they, the conditioned souls, get into delusion. The delusion is to consider enjoyable something which is not worthy of enjoyment, and to consider hateful something which is not deserved to be hated. Their nature is not such as to feel happiness at union with me and misery at separation from me. The man of wisdom, however, is one whose nature is to feel happiness or misery solely on account of union or separation from me. No being whatever, few beings are born with such nature. This illusion of duality bewilders not only the ordinary fruitive workers, but also the Mayavadis, who are supposed to be learned and austere. Due to desire and hate, the Mayavadis are envious of Krishna and want to become one with him. Despite their claims to be the few chosen wise men who are not bewildered by Maya, the Mayavadis are in fact on the same level as the ordinary fruitive workers. This is made clear by Srila Prabhupada in a Bhagavad Gita lecture from Bombay 1974. Small mohas, they are working hard only to become happy.
Sorry, it is mudhas.
Small mudhas, they are working hard only to become happy. And the big mudha, he wants to become God. The small mudha wants to become a minister or a president, and the big mudha wants to become God. The disease is the same. I shall become the most powerful, but that is not possible. Only Krishna is the most powerful.
Yeah. So this is, everybody would like to be happy, and happiness, their purview or their understanding of the happiness is that I had to hate something and desire something, and whatever I am achieving the desires, that will make me happy. But Krishna says that if their desires are not in a line to please me, then everything is useless. So here in this lecture in 1974, Prabhupada is saying that everybody is a Buddha, but the big Buddhas are the impersonalists. They would like to become a god, and the small Buddhas, they would like to. They are the karmis. They would like to become a president. Everybody is a Mudha, and everybody is in Dvandva of desire and hatred. So the becoming free, pious, pure, intelligent persons are free from the dualities rising from the delusion, can serve Krishna with determined devotion. So who can be the person who are not the Mudas? Who are these people? The Arjuna must be asking that, Kon hai aisa vyakti? Who is that person who is not a mudha, and what he does, and how a mudha can become intelligent, and who is from the mudha he can become a devotee. How the impersonalist can also become a devotee, whether they can become the devotee. So that is a compassionate question is going inside the heart of Arjuna. So the Krishna is answering, which has not been asked to him, but Krishna understands the heart questions also. So he is answering in this way. Yesham tu antagatam papam jananam punyakarmanam te dvandva moha nirmukta bhajante mam drudavrata. Krishna is saying in this shloka that Yesham tu antagatam papam jananam punya karmana. When they are increasing the pious activities, not these pious activities, so-called social workers or the it is good for the society. That the acharyas will be mentioning about what are the pious activities. Jananam punya karmanam, this punya karma, and their papa has gone. Papa means, again, it is not that papa, it is the pap, that also we will be saying that. Te dvandva moha nirmukta, then their dvandva will be washed off, and they can become a bhajante mam drudha vrata. They can become my drudha devotees, determined devotees. So this is the meaning of that. Somebody can read the translation and this explanation also.
Hare Krishna. Persons who have acted piously in previous lives and in this life, and whose sinful actions are completely eradicated, are freed from the dualities of delusion, and they engage themselves in my service with determination. Krishna explanation. By the mercy of the glance of a pure devotee, the sins are removed, faith is established, and one can perform devotional service. Srila Prabhupada explains this point. All the devotees of Lord traverse this earth just to recover the conditioned souls from their delusion. Krishna in the next verses will explain the fourth kind of Sakama devotee. The first three, Artha, Arthardi and Jijnasa, are called Karma Mishra or Sakama. Their devotional service is mixed with karma or desires. But the fourth kind of Yoga Mishra, or the devotion, is mixed with yoga or the desire for liberation. Can I continue, Prabhu? In verse 28?
Please.
In verse 28, the Lord explains how the small and big mudas can become his devotees. Those who have acted piously in both the previous and in the present life, and whose sinful actions are completely eradicated, are freed from the dualities of delusion and engage themselves with a determination in Krishna service.
So that is that who will become and how they will be becoming free from the dualities. It is mentioned that when they are free from the sinful actions, first of all, they have to free from the sinful actions. And by that, their good actions will be starting. It's like stopping a sinful action is some action has to be done. So by that, they will be doing some good activities, pious activities. Pious activities means not this pious. What are the pious activities? That we will be seeing in the further shlokas. Somebody can read this one.
Yeah. On the basis of this verse, one should not conclude that pious activities are the cause of bhakti. Pious persons are qualified to take to devotional service not because of their piety, but because of their piety attracts the mercy of the pure devotees. Only the mercy of the devotees can destroy sins and establish faith in bhakti. Therefore, the devotees are always busy spreading Krishna consciousness for the benefit of all. Srila Prabhupada writes in his purport, all the devotees of Lord traverse this earth just to recover the conditioned souls from their delusion.
So what are the pious activities? As per this paragraph, it is the Bhakti Unmukha Sukritis, which attracts the attention of the pure devotees. Whenever they are doing a Bhakti Unmukha Sukritis, which is helping to the pure devotees, and the pure devotees are showering their mercy on them. By that, these people are getting some affliction by the pure devotees, and their sinful activities will stop because of the mercy of the devotees. Because of the mercy of the devotees, their inclination to do a sinful activities, their sin circle will be stopping. How come a sin circle will stop? That papa circle is there. You must be knowing that illusion is the first thing. By that, then the scene starts, then the bijam, then the kutam, then the proclivity, prarabdha, aprarabdha, all the things are there. That you please see this scene circle. In that, the illusion is the first thing. When these people, those who are doing a help unknowingly, Adnyata Sukriti it has been called, unknowingly they are helping the devotees, those who are engaged in the preaching. How these people help? Sometimes the devotees are going for the preaching program, and some person says that, Prabhuji, aapko drop karo kya? I feel you are alone, and whether I can drop you. Even if they are the impersonalists, the devotees feel affection towards him and says that, oh Lord, he has helped me to preach about you. And sometimes the people, those who are the impersonalists, whether we can ask them some help, like whether we need some facility from you, whether we need some accommodation in your matha or something like that. By that, the impersonalists, we are indirectly serving and pleasing the devotees' mission or the devotees. By that, when the devotee starts praying about that personality, so that's why it is everything is depending on the prayers of the devotees. So why we should serve the devotees, those who are very much pure? Because of that, this devotee will be praying for us and says that, oh, Krishna is such a wonderful soul. Please make him purify more, and he can come to you. And by that, Krishna makes the thin layer. Now the thick layer of the illusion is there. Now he is removing one layer. Oh, he will understand. He will understand. Then by that, the illusion is going or fading away. And by that, the activities are reforming, and we are not inclined towards the bad activity. Initially, when we are having the bad activities and we are coming to the Krishna consciousness, some bad activity there. Somebody is having the meat eating, somebody is intoxication, somebody is like the breaking the 4 regulatory principles. How the devotees, some devotees must have prayed for us also. They are putting their energies to make us the devotee. And by that, our path is becoming more and more pure and clear. We think that by our endeavor, "Arey, maine aaj chai or coffee chhod diya." No, somebody has prayed for you. By that mercy, the Krishna has allowed you to get off from your bad habits, isn't it? So we are not the doer, actually. The Krishna's devotees, when they are praying, so that's why the Krishna consciousness is happening, or it is possible in a devotee circle only, not by individual. Kshaya Veda Vega Domi, Kshaya Dosha Shodhi. Shaya Guna Deho Dasin. Ekaki Amara Nahi Paya Bala. I am not having that strength to cross over this material existence. But the devotees are there. Na? By that, I can also dance. How many of you just thought that while when you are coming to the Krishna consciousness or ISKCON in the first time, when these devotees were dancing in a Guru Puja, in a Sandhya Arati, how many of you thought that one day I will be also dancing? First impression was that these people only can dance. They are made for that. I am aloof. I will not be dancing. But after some time, we just thought that this thought process came that these people are happy. That's why they are dancing. And I also would like to become happy. So that's why I should also dance in front of the Lord with raised hands. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. So the next shloka we will be taking. Jara Marana Mokshaya. Mama Shritaya Yatantiye. Te Brahma Tadvidu Krishnam. Adhyatmam Karma Chakhilam. Somebody can read this translation. I am not going to show you the PPTs because it is taking much time. So that's why I am somewhat relaxed now that I am not showing the PPTs. The PPTs are ready, but it is taking much time to explain that. So that's why I will not be explaining that. But I can share that PPT with you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna, I'll read.
Yeah.
Intelligent persons who are endeavoring for liberation from old age and death take refuge in me in devotional service. They are actually Brahman because they entirely know everything about transcendental activities.
See, this is a shloka which is making or which is carrying forward for the next chapter. Now here the doubts are coming in the mind of Arjuna. What is this Adhyatma? What is the Brahman? What you are talking about? Please explain me. So he will be asking a question in the next chapter. And that whole chapter will be for that. Or moreover, Krishna will be talking over that 8, 9 or 10. These 3 chapters are for that, whatever the Arjuna is asking. So this is a seed of that. What Krishna spoke, Arjuna has not understood it properly. So he will be asking a question about this. Yeah, please read this.
Yeah. 3 concepts are mentioned in this verse: Brahma, Adhyatma, and Karma. In verse 16, the Lord listed 3 types of Sakama devotees: Artho, Jignasur, and Artharthi. Artho and Artharthi are Karma Mishra devotees, and Jignasur is a mixed Karma and Jnana Mishra devotee. Verse 29 describes a 4th type of Sakama devotee, the Yoga Mishra Bhakta. He worships the Lord with the desire for liberation. Such an intelligent person who is endeavoring for liberation from old age and death takes refuge in Krishna by devotional service because he knows his constitutional position, the transcendental nature of the Supreme Lord, and his relationship with the Lord as a servant. He is situated in Brahman. By the transcendental association of Krishna consciousness, this type of Sakama devotee understands how the Lord is the governing principle of material manifestation, of the demigods, and also of the methods of all sacrifices. His knowledge is not...
Yeah. Well, I just would like to mention one point here. What this Artho, Jignasu, and Artharthi, They are the Mishra Bhaktas, Mishra Karma or Jnana Mishra or the Karma Mishras. But this Sakama devotee, which is mentioned as a Jidnyasu, he is a Yoga Mishra Bhakta. So he is quite higher because his aim is to attain the Lord. Some sort of, it's like he is not knowing what exactly what exactly means to attain the Lord. He is asking for the or desiring for the liberation. So his goal is higher than these three, Karma Mishra and Jnana Mishra. They are not knowing exactly, but they are going to the Lord for some desires. But he is going to the Lord for ultimate desire, which he is not having the perfect idea what is ultimate. But he is not going for the artho. Oh, I am just pidita. I am just having this problem, that problem. I just would like to know about what exactly the ultimate destination of the personality or of the Jivatmas. So that he is aspiring for. So that's why he is higher. And for that, what exactly a Brahman? The Brahman means it is a relationship with the Lord and the servant. That he is trying to understand. That situation is called as a Brahman. Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma na shochati na kankshati samas sarveshu bhuteshu. Then that situation is called as the Brahman. Means what? It is a situation that he is knowing that he is my master and I am his servant. Na shochati na kankshati. He is not shochati. Shochati means he is not worried about his past. Na kankshati. Kankshati means he is not worried about his future. The past and future also makes one person in a dvandva. क्या होगा मेरा पीछे, मैं क्या हुआ था, मुझे ऐसे ऐसे हुआ था इसलिए मैं बीमारी गिर गया था मेरा. Whatever the people are talking about in nowadays, the situation is that about the past and they are more worried about the future. They are investing in the bank. मेरे 15 साल के बाद में काम आ जाएगा. अरे मेरा ये लॉस हो गया. Means it is the past. Nobody is thinking about the present. Everybody is conscious about the past and the future. Na shochati, na kankshati. So that's why the person who is established a relationship with the Lord, he is not at all worried about the past and future. Samas sarveshu bhuteshu mad bhakti labhate param. Samas sarvesh. He is equipoised to everyone. Sarva bhuteshu. That situation is a Brahman when the relationship is clear. Yeah, you can read this.
His knowledge is not.
Sorry, I can go back. His knowledge is not.
His knowledge is
destroyed.
not destroyed even at the time of death. By the mercy of Krishna, this devotee attains his desired goal. Although according to Srila Baldeva Vidyabhushan, he cannot bring Krishna under his control and does not become an object of Krishna's special affection. 4.
So this like the person who is not, he has understood the relationship, but still he will not know Krishna fully. Krishna will not be under his control. But he will attain Krishna's mercy to some extent. That Brahman who has understood the Brahman, who has understood the relationship as a Brahman. But not a special affection, because he has not developed a special affection for the Lord. Ye yathamam prapadyante tam satevam bhajamyaham. That Krishna is saying that as he has not attained a special affection for me, so I will not also shower my special affection over him. Yeah, the next shloka, or we can read this 4th point.
freedom through knowing Krishna at the time of death. Those who take shelter of Krishna, knowing him as Adi Bhuta, the material manifestation, Adi Deva, the demigods, and Adyajna, the Lord of sacrifices, can know Krishna even at the time of death.
So who can know Krishna at the time of death? That has been mentioned by Krishna here. So this is also a link. This shloka, the 30th shloka, is also a link for the next chapter. Arjuna will be asking about what is Adi Bhuta, what is Adi Deva, what is Adi Yajna. Please explain me. I have not understood it. Sadi Bhuta Adi Devam
Sadhi Bhutadi Daivam Ma
Sadi Yajna cha ye vidu
Sadhyajnam cha ye vidu
Prayana Kale Pichamam
Kale Pichamam
Ye vidur Yukta Chetasa.
Te Vidur Yukta Sechasa.
Can read this translation and the commentary.
Yes. Can I read, Prabhu?
Yeah, please.
Yeah. Those in full consciousness of me, who knows me, the Supreme Lord, to be the governing principle of the material manifestation of the demigods and of all methods of sacrifice, can understand and know me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, even at the time of death. The three concepts are mentioned in this verse: Adi Bhuta, Adi Deva, and Adi Yajna. These three concepts, along with the other three from the previous verse, were mentioned by the Lord and will be asked about by Arjuna in the next chapter about their meaning.
Yeah, please read this also.
For those who are materialists who worship the demigods, Krishna is the governing principle of all the demigods as well as all the methods of sacrifice. If one understands that Krishna is the principle behind that, even at the time of death, he can Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Krishna is directing.
He can know. So sorry, the know is not there. He can know Krishna as the Supreme Personality.
Yeah, he can know Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Krishna is directing the knowledge and desires of so many other classes of people to himself. It is an important question in the battlefield. What has to be done in the time of death? What should one be conscious of at the time of death? In verse 30, the Lord says, those in full consciousness of me, who know me, the Supreme Lord, to be the governing principle of material manifestation Adi Bhuta, of the demigods Adi Daivam, and of all methods of sacrifices Adi Yajnam, can understand and know me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, even at the time of death. By claiming these three key positions, Adi Bhuta, Adi Daiva, and Adi Yajna, the Lord attracts different types of materialistic people to his lotus feet and also shows to his devotees how they should see everything in connection with him.
Yeah. So hope that you are understanding what has been written. It is like the notes of the different classes. I have made it like that. Please go through this. Somebody can read this one.
Only the Lord's devotees who know the truth about him can cross over Maya. In this chapter, Krishna described 6 types of such fortunate devotees. The 3 types of Sakama devotees, the Mokshakama Bhakta, Nishkama Jnana Mishra Bhakta, and the Kevala Bhakta. In verse 29 and 30, the Lord lists 6 terms which will be explained in the next chapter: Brahma, Adhyatma, Karma, Adibhuta, Adi Daiva, and Adi Yajna. Srila Prabhupada summarizes chapter 7 in his purport to verse 30. Many subjects have been discussed in this chapter: the man in distress, the inquisitive man, the man in want of materialistic necessities, knowledge of Brahman, knowledge of Paramatma, liberation from birth, death and diseases, and worship of the Supreme Lord. However, he who is actually elevated in Krishna consciousness does not care for the different processes. He simply directly engages himself in activities of Krishna consciousness and thereby factually attains his constitutional position as an eternal servitor of Lord Krishna. In such situation, he takes pleasure in hearing and glorifying the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Yeah, so here the 4 types of devotees in this chapter, it has been mentioned. There is one Sakama devotees, those who are three types, which are they: Artho, Artharthi, Jidnyasu, Then the moksha kama, which has been mentioned in verse number 29. Somebody can remember that verse 29. What was that? If somebody can quote it again. Whether I can show it. Yeah. Please recite it.
Jara marana mokshaya mama shritya yutantiye te brahma tadvidu krishnam adhyatmam karma chakilam.
Yeah, the person who has understood what exactly a Brahman, that person who has established a relationship with the Lord, he is moksha kama bhakta. He has not actually developed a loving relationship with the Lord, but he has understood some sort of relationship. I am the servant and he is a master. Then the third is a nishkama jnana mishra bhakta, which is a jnani. And the fourth is the verse number 1. What was that? This verse, everybody should by heart it. The first verse of the 7th chapter. Maya saktamana partham yogam yunjan madashriyasam shreyam samagramma mitha nyaschita shrunu. Because this is the person that who has understood the essence of that. The shrunu, he should understand, like the Lord has to be understood by the Shranavata process, by the Shravana process. And Maya Sakta, by that, by hearing about the Lord, he will become attached towards the Lord, developing affection towards the Lord. And he will be doubt-free. That I showed the whole diagram, how a person become a doubt-free. Hearing, then that person will not be having any doubts because he has developed a faith, and by that the faith, the Shravana process will be increasing in such a way that the doubts will not be there. So this way, these 4 types of devotees are mentioned, and in that the Kevala Bhakta are the highest one. So we are going to chapter number 8. The title is Attaining the Supreme. By remembering the Lord Krishna in a devotion throughout one's life, and especially at the time of death, one can attain to his supreme abode beyond the material world. By remembering Lord Krishna in a devotion throughout one's life, and especially at the time of death, one can attain to his supreme abode beyond the material world. So in the 30th chapter, it was mentioned about at the time of death, and in the 7th chapter, it was been mentioned in the last shloka at the time of death, and the 8th chapter is starting with the at the time of death. So at the time of death, if somebody remembers Krishna, what he has to remember? Adi Bhuta, Adi Deva, Adi Yajna. He is the Adi Bhuta, he is the Adi Deva, he is the Adi Yajna. At the time of death, he remembers that, then he will come to me. Krishna has told, Krishna has promised, and Krishna never breaks the promise for his devotees. So one should thoroughly understand, not just verbally, but thoroughly understand he is Adi Bhuta, Adi Deva, Adi Yajna. And Krishna will be speaking about what is Adi Bhuta, Adi Deva, Adi Yajna in this chapter. So that's why it is attaining the Supreme. Krishna is explaining about what is Adi Bhuta, Adi Deva, Adi Yajna. That's why this chapter name is like the attaining the Supreme. So this is the category of the shlokas, verses 1 to 4. Lord Krishna answers Arjuna's questions. Here the Arjuna is also asking the question, and Krishna is answering some extent. 3rd and 4th he is answering. Verse 5 to 8, remembering Krishna at the time of death. Verse 9 to 13, Yoga Mishra Bhakti. Verses 14 to 16, pure devotional service. verses 17 to 22, comparing the material and spiritual worlds, verses 23rd to 28 days, devotion service is the topmost yoga. So are you there with me?
Yes, Prabhuji.
We are there in a eighth chapter. Yeah. Lord Krishna answers Arjuna's question. So Arjuna is asking the question first. Arjuna Vacha.
Arjuna
Kim tad brahma kim adhyatmam.
Kim
Kim karma purushottama.
Kim karma purushottama.
Adi bhutam cha kim proktam.
Adi bhutam cha kim proktam.
Adi devam kim uchyate. So Arjuna is asking a question. Please ask the question now, which has been asked by Arjuna. Please read. Yeah.
What is Brahma? What is it?
Giriraj Prabhuji, are you reading, Prabhuji?
We can read, Mataji.
Okay, thank you, Prabhuji. Arjuna inquired, O my Lord, O Supreme Person, what is Brahman? What is the self? What are fruitive activities? What is this material manifestation? And what are the demigods? Please explain this to me. Arjuna is asking, what is Brahma? What is Adhyatma? What is Karma? What is Adibhuta? What is Adideva? He is asking about 5 of those 6 concepts that Krishna mentioned in the last 2 verses of the previous chapter.
So what is Brahma? What is Adhyatma? What is Karma? What is Adibhuta? And what is Adideva? These 5 he asked in one verse only. Now, what is the next question? Adi yajna katham kotra. Dehesmin madhusudana. Prayana kale cha katham. Neyosi niyatam Okay. Somebody can read this translation and commentary also.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead, Mataji.
Who is the Lord of sacrifice and how does he live in the body, O Madhusudana? And how can those how can those engage in devotional service know you at the time of death? Here Arjuna asks about the 6th concept, the Adi Yajna. Who is the Adi Yajna and where does he live? Where does he live? Inside the body. And an 8th question that Arjuna puts is, how can those engaged in devotional service can know you at the time of?
So these are the 8 questions. So these are the 8 questions. First 5 questions in the first shloka, the next 3 questions in the second shloka. What is Adi Yajna and where does he live inside the body? And what is how a person who is engaged in a devotion service can know you at the time of death? So this is very relevant for us. Those who are doing a devotional service, how they can know you at the time of death. So Arjuna is asking for us. So you please read this, the next one in verses 1 to 2.
In verses 1 to 2, Arjuna requests the Lord to define the terms he mentioned in the last two verses of the previous chapter. Arjuna inquires, what is Brahman? Brahman, self, fruitive
activities,
material manifestation, and demigods. Who is the Lord of sacrifice? And how does he live in the body? And how can those engaged in devotional service know Krishna at the time of death?
Yeah. So everything will be covered. Like these questions we may be also having. What is Adhyatma? What is Adideva? What is Adibhuta? Ye Prabhuji batao na thoda sa. Please explain us. So Acharyas are explaining this. Please wait for a moment. Srila Baldev Vidyabhushan explains.
Srila Baldev Vidyabhushan explains the meaning of Arjuna's questions as follows. First one, what is Brahman? Arjuna wants to know if Brahman refers to the Jiva or to the Paramatma. Second question, what is Adhyatma? Arjuna is asking if the Adhyatma, the self, refers to the gross or settled body. Third one, what is karma? Does it refer to ordinary actions or actions prescribed in the Vedas? Fourth one, what is the Adibhuta? Since Adibhuta means that which rules Adi, the living entities, Bhuta. Does it refer to the products of the elements such as pots or the gross bodies of the jivas?
So Baldev Vidyabhushan is again making it very easy to us to understand. Arjuna is asking what is Brahman means. Arjuna ke man mein, in the mind of Arjuna, what thing is he is trying to understand. Whether Arjuna is saying that, oh Krishna, what is Brahman? Brahman refers to the Jiva or the Paramatma. Please let me know. I'm confused in these two. Brahman means Jivatma or the Paramatma. What is Adhyatma? Adhyatma refers to the self or to the gross body. Means it is the soul or it is the gross body. Or a subtle soul or the subtle body. Please let me know about that. What is the karma? It is an ordinary activity or it is the very prescribed activities which are mentioned in the Vedas. What is exactly a karma? Please let me know. Arjuna is asking. So Baldev Vidyabhushan is knowing the mind of Arjuna and he is explicitly mentioning about this. These are the doubts of Arjuna's. So that's why he is asking the question. Yeah, please read.
In verses 3 to 4, Lord of Sacrifice. Lord of Sacrifice may refer to either Indra or Vishnu.
Sorry.
Is the
who is the Adi Deva? You please.
Yes. Sorry, Prabhuji. Who is the Adi Deva? Who is the personification of everything in the universe? A demigod or the Virata Purusha, the universal form of the Lord. Sixth one is, who is the Adi Yagna? In other words, who presides over the sacrifice? And where in the body does he live? Srila Prabhupada explains, Lord of Sacrifice may refer to either Indra or Vishnu. Vishnu is the chief of the primal demigods, including Brahma and Shiva, and Indra is the chief of the administrative demigods. Both Indra and Vishnu are worshipped by yajna performances. But here, Arjuna asks, who is actually the Lord of yajna, sacrifice, and how the Lord is residing within the body of the living entity. In verses 3 to 4, there are brief answers to the first 6 questions.
So there are total 8 questions are there. So these 8 questions one should by heart. Means what exactly Arjuna is asking that one should know, or else what Krishna has mentioned in this further discussion, we will not be getting a link of that. So one should get a link, because how a person will be getting a link when a person will be by hearting this question: what is Adi Bhuta, what is Adi Deva, what is Adi Yajna, what is a Karma, what is a Brahman, and where this Adi Yajna is living, and how a person can be knowing or remembering you at the time of death. These are the 8 questions one should know, and then the person will be understanding the context of the answers. Where the Krishna is speaking about these 8 answers, one will able to recollect nicely. So this, one should know what are the questions first, by heart it. What is Adi Deva, Adi Yajna? No need to by heart the shlokas, but at least the questions. And then one will be enjoying the answers of the Krishna. So now Krishna is answering. Now here in this purport, in the 2nd chapter, or like the 2nd verse purport, Srila Prabhupada is mentioning about Indra and Vishnu. Either they are the Lord of the sacrifice, but original Lord of sacrifice is Vishnu only. So that's why Prabhupada is giving the answer of Adi Yajna. So that's why the masterpiece of the Bhakti Vedanta purports are that Arjuna's question are been answered in the purport before Krishna answers. The 3rd verse we will be reciting. Shri Bhagavan Vacha.
Shri Bhagavan Vacha.
Aksharam Brahma Paramam.
Aksharam Brahma Paramam.
Swabhavo Dhyatmamam Uchyate.
Uchyate.
Bhuta Bhavo Bhavo Karo.
Karo.
Visarga Karma Sadnita. Somebody can read the translation.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Go ahead, Prabhuji. Giriraj Prabhuji, go ahead.
Yes, thank you, Prabhuji. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, the indestructible, transcendental living entity is called Brahman, and his eternal nature is called Adhyatma, the self. Action pertaining to the development of material bodies of the living entities is called karma, or fruitive activities. Can I continue, Prabhu?
Yeah.
Yeah. Srila Prabhupada explains in detail, according to the Chandogya Upanishad, about the meaning of karma. It means specifically, technically, according to the purport. Karma means after one performs yajna or sacrifice, he goes to the heavenly planets. Then just before the punya or good karma that is holding him up in the heavenly planets expires, when there is just a little bit left, he comes down in the form of rain, and that rain is absorbed to make the grains grow, and the grains are eaten and become semen, and the semen gives origin to a child gradually. That is karma. That action which develops material body for a soul when he descends from the heavenly planets. That specifically is what Krishna explains as karma. This body is composed of karma. Hare Krishna.
So that is a karma. What is exactly a karma? The action which develops material body for a soul when he descends from the heavenly planets. That here it has been mentioned as a karma. Krishna is saying that whatever you are asking, O Arjuna, it is mentioned here. It is like for this context, the karma is that the action which develops a material body for a soul when he descends from the heavenly planets. Anna Dhvanti Bhutani Prajanya Dannabhav. Like that. So when the souls are falling down from the rain, and it becomes a grain, and person is eating or the man is eating, it becomes a semen. And when it goes to the mother's womb and a child is been born, that the taking of the human body again is called as a karma. And then he is mentioning about Hare Krishna. Just huh? Sorry, somebody was there. Okay. And the three answers in a short he has given. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said the indestructible transcendental living entity is called Brahman. So it is not a Paramatma, he has been called as a Brahman here, but the indestructible transcendental living entities are called as a Brahman. And his eternal nature is called Adhyatma, the self. What eternal nature of that personality is to serve the Lord. It's called Adhyatma. So that's why it is Adhyatmik. Whatever we are doing, it is to serve the Lord. It is called Adhyatmik. Action, which we have already talked about. So the karma, Adhyatma, and the Brahman, the Lord has already covered in a short. Okay, this shloka we can sing. Adi bhutam ksharo bhava.
Adi bhutam ksharo bhava.
Purushascha devatam.
Purushascha devatam.
Adi yajñoham evatra.
Adi yajñoham evatra.
Dehe deha bhritam vara.
Dehe deha bhritam vara.
We can read the translation.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yeah.
O best of the embodied beings, the physical nature which is constantly changing is called Adhibhuta, the material manifestation. The universal form of the Lord, which includes all the demigods, like those of the sun and moon, is called Adhidaiva. And I, the Supreme Lord, represented as the super soul in the heart of every embodied being, am called Adhyagna, the Lord of sacrifice. Adhibhuta means possibly the presiding deity of the material manifestation. In that, it makes clear Krishna's point in 7.30 to those who are in full consciousness of me, who know me as the governing principle of the material manifestation. It is not exactly just the material manifestation, but is the Lord of the material manifestation, which is constantly changing. All the demigods and their planets constitute the universal form. If one is worshipping the material manifestation, he is actually worshipping Krishna indirectly. If one is worshipping the demigods, he is actually worshipping Krishna indirectly. If one performing yagnas, he is actually worshipping Krishna indirectly because he is the Lord of the sacrifices.
Just hold on. Now Krishna has answered 3 again. Which 3 point he has answered? So Adi Bhuta, and then what exactly he has answered? Then next Adi Bhuta is what? The material manifestation which is changing. Means he has talked about the Prakriti. Then Purushascha Devatam. Then he has included the demigods, which is like the Virata Purusha is called as Adi Devatam. And then the Supreme Lord presented as a super soul in the heart of the every embodied is called Adi Yajna. So what Adi Yajna is? Adi Yajna is a Paramatma. He is there inside the heart, and it has been mentioned like where exactly is Adi Yajna. That question also he has answered. The 7th question, where exactly Adi Yajna resides? So that he is residing inside the heart of the embodied personality. So what is Brahman? You can read this. Please
Hare
read.
What is
Hare
yeah?
Krishna.
What is Brahman? Okay. Or what is Brahman? The indestructible living entity who is originally part and parcel of God is called Brahman. Srila Prabhupada explains in the purport to verse 3. Brahman is indestructible and eternally existing, and its constitution is not changed at any time. But beyond Brahman, there is Parabrahman. Brahman refers to the living entity, and Parabrahman refers to the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Please go on reading.
Srila Prabhupada writes in his purport to Bhagavad Gita 7.29, Aham Brahmasmi, I am spirit. It is said that one should understand that he is Brahman, spirit soul. This Brahman conception of life is also in devotional service as described in this verse. The pure devotees are transcendentally situated on the Brahman platform, and they know everything about transcendental activities. Only persons who perform activities in Krishna consciousness, Mam Ashritya, are actually entitled to be Brahman because they are actually endeavoring to reach the Krishna planet. Such persons have no misgivings about Krishna, and thus they are factually Brahman. Hare Krishna.
The Brahman means the living entities, but those who are trying to serve the Lord and who perform activities in Krishna consciousness, Mam Ashrita, that people are actually called as a Brahman. And the answer has been given in 7.29 only. Krishna is giving answer in 8.3 and 8.4, but Prabhupada is answering there in 7.29 only. Somebody can read this one.
Hare Krishna.
There is an additional note like what is self, what is Brahman, that I made it. So it will be helpful for you all to understand.
Okay. Shall I read it, Prabhuji?
Yeah, please.
What is the self? Brahman's constitutional nature is called Adhyatma, the self. This constitutional nature of the living entity is to serve the Lord. Srila Prabhupada writes in his purport. The constitutional position of the living entity is different from the position he takes in the material world. In material consciousness, his nature is to try to be the Lord of matter. But in spiritual consciousness, Krishna consciousness, his position is to serve the Supreme. In other words, there are two types of Adhyatma. One is the absolute, unchanging nature of loving service to the Supreme Lord, and the other is the soul's material conditioning, which is always changing according to the samskaras stored in the subtle body. This second type of Adhyatma is called Swabhava. I say that Adhyatma refers to the Swabhava. Swabhava is the substance which is intimately connected to the Jiva, Swa. It refers to the impressions held in the subtle elements which accompany the Jiva worth after worth, because the impressions are closely related to the Atma.
Yeah. So the Swabhava, which is the like the samskaras, by the samskaras, it is changing. So it is like the first one is for the Nitya Siddhas, their absolute unchanging nature to serve the Lord. And it is for the Nitya Baddhas, the Swabhava, by the samskaras, it is becoming like that to serve the Lord. So we are the Nitya Baddhas. For us, the samskaras are required, like this 24 samskaras. By that, one can become a very civilized personality. But the samskaras means here it is the devotional service. But the process of practicing the devotional service, automatically this like the samskaras will be developing, and the Nitya Baddha will be changing from his Baddhata to the Shuddhata. So that is also a Swabhava. We are trying to change it. Our nature, our Swabhava, we are trying to mold it like that. Somebody can read this one. Hare Krishna. I will just.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, can I read?
Yeah. Described in as such in the Chandogya Upanishad. Yeah, please read this.
Described as such in Chandogya Upanishad, they are called Swabhava. This Swabhava is what I call Adhyatma, that which rules over Atma. Srila Baladeva Vidyabhushan's commentary on Bhagavad Gita 8.3. What is karma? Due to the material consciousness and activities, the living entities take on various bodies. This process is called karma. Srila Prabhupada explains the technical meaning of karma as follows. In the process of sacrifice, the living entity makes special sacrifices to attain specific heavenly planets and consequently reaches them. When the merit of sacrifice is exhausted, the living entities descends to earth in the form of rain, then takes on the form of grains, and the grains are eaten by man and transformed into semen, which impregnates a woman, and thus the living entity once again attains the human form to perform sacrifice, and so repeat the same cycle. In this way, the living entity perpetually comes and goes on the material path. The Krishna conscious person, however, avoids such sacrifices. He takes directly to Krishna consciousness and thereby prepares himself to return to Godhead. Hare Krishna.
So, Krishna conscious person, he is trying to avoid the karma. He is avoiding the karma like that. So, he is directly taking the Krishna consciousness process to please the Krishna. So there is no karma for the Krishna conscious person. Karma means taking the body. We will not go through this Adi Bhuta and Adi Deva. Okay, or else we can go fast by this. What is Adi Bhuta?
The changing physical nature is called Adi Bhuta as it is explained by Srila Prabhupada. The physical nature is constantly changing. Material bodies generally pass through 6 stages. They are born, they grow, they remain for some duration, they produce some byproducts, they dwindle, and then they vanish. This physical nature is called Adi Bhuta. The Lord is the governing principle of this material manifestation as it is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 7.30. What is
So
Adi
this
Deva?
material world or the material body which we have got it is called as Adi Bhuta. The matter is called Adi Bhuta and the matter goes under 6 types of changes. Yeah. What is Adi Deva?
The conception of the universal form of the Lord, which includes all demigods and their different planets, is called Adi Deva. Adi Deva is further described in Bhakti Vedanta Purport, Srimad Bhagavad 2.1.19.
Yeah, please.
The conception of the Virata Purusha or the gigantic form of Supreme Lord is said to include all the dominating demigods as well as the dominated living beings. Even the minutest part of the living being is controlled by the empowered agency of Lord. Since the demigods are included in the gigantic form of the Lord, worship of the Lord, whether in his gigantic material conception or in his eternal transcendental form as Lord Sri Krishna, also appeases the demigods and all the other parts and parcels as much as watering the roots of tree as much as watering the root of a tree distributes energy to all the tree's other parts. Consequently, for a materialistic also, worship of the universal gigantic form of the Lord leads one to the right path. One need not risk being misled by approaching many demigods for fulfillment of different desires. The real entity is the Lord Himself, and all others are imaginary, for everything is included in Him only.
So this demigods are also included in the Virat Purusha form. So the Lord is called as Adi Deva. Not Indra is called as Adi Deva, but the Lord Vishnu, who is in the form of Virat Purusha, is called Adi Deva. Who is Adi Yajna? Here we can see. Who is the Adi Yajna? Please read.
Should I continue, Prabhuji, or someone else
Yeah,
want to
please,
read?
please.
Who is the Adi Yajna and where is the body? Where in the body does he live? Sri Krishna, who is represented by the super soul in the heart of every living being, is Adi Yajna. This has been confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 5.29, where it is said, a person in full consciousness of me, knowing me to be the ultimate beneficiary of all sacrifices and austerities.
Yeah. So the 7 questions are been answered. So what is now the 8th question? Still remembering. Still it is remaining. So that's 8th question. It is been answered in verses 5 to 8, which we will be covering. Remembering Krishna at the time of death. So we will chant this 5th shloka. Antakale cha mameva.
Antakale cha mameva.
Smaran muktva kalevaram.
Smaran mukta kalevaram.
Ya prayati samadbhavam.
Prayati samadbhavam.
Yati nasti atra samshaya.
Yati nasti atra samshaya.
See, these 8 questions, Krishna has purposefully in the 7th chapter, 30th shloka, he has used these terms where Arjuna got a doubt. Krishna was knowing that Arjuna will be getting a doubt and he will be getting a chance to explain it. So purposefully he has used such terms where Arjuna will not be aware of that much. Adi Yajna, then Prayana Kale. This is what exactly you want me to know, oh Krishna, Arjuna is asking, and Krishna is getting the chance to elaborate over it. So now these verses are coming by the questions of Arjuna, which Krishna himself has spoken it. Adi Deva, Adi Yajna, and all this. So the Krishna is very mystical. Krishna knows that I wanted to expand over it, but let me know whether you understood it. And Krishna was aware that he has not understood it. He will be asking a question. Let him ask openly. I will not, or else Krishna could have talked about this shloka after immediate completion of that. But Krishna wanted Arjuna to ask openly. So that's why these shlokas are coming after 8.1 and 8.2. These shlokas are coming. So somebody can read the translation and the commentary of this. Very
Hare Krishna,
important
Prabhu.
shloka.
Yeah, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Very Translation. And whoever at the end of his life quits his body, remembering me alone, at once attains my nature. Of this there is no doubt. Krishna answers to the question of Arjuna. How can we know you at the time of death? Krishna says, by remembering, because remembering is devotional service. And one who knows Krishna as the Adi Daiva, Adi Yajna, and Adi Bhuta can thus remember Krishna at the time of death. Verse 5 answers the last question of Arjuna. How can those engaged in devotional service know you at the time of death? A devotee can know Krishna at the time of death by remembering him because remembering is devotional service. Anyone who quits his body remembering Sri Krishna is at once transferred to the transcendental nature of the Supreme Lord without a doubt. This is the importance of Krishna consciousness. Unless one has practiced devotional service during his life, he will not be able to remember the Lord at the time of death. Therefore, one should constantly practice remembrance of the Lord by chanting the holy name. As Lord Chaitanya has advised, this level of constant chanting can be achieved only when one is very tolerant and humble. In
So what is the
renunciation,
shloka of that? Every time, every day we are singing this shloka of Lord Chaitanya.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Yeah.
Hare Krishna, Krishna.
No, 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 no. This third shloka of the Shishtastakam.
Amanini Manade.
yeah.
Oh,
Somebody can chant this
Sarorapi
shloka.
Sahishnuna.
Please chant it loudly.
Trinadapi Sunichene, Tarodapi Sahishnam, Amaninya Manadeya Kirtane Sadahari.
Kirtaniya Sadahari. This will happen when we are Pranadapi Sunichana or reverse Sahishnunam and Amani na Manadena Kirtaniya. These 3-4 things which we will be doing constantly, then we can able to do a Kirtaniya Sadahari, or else only 2 hours, 3 hours, half an hour we are trying to do, and after that we are leaving that. Hare Krishna Mahamantra we cannot chant like the 24 hours a day, because we are not becoming Trunadapi Sunishan. Suma Mataji, we can take the question after 10 minutes, if you don't mind it. Yeah. The last line somebody can read in the renunciation wisdom.
In renunciation through wisdom, Srila Prabhupada explains how the devotee should prepare for death.
Yeah.
The activities of the day evoke dreams at night and induce emotions appropriate to those activities. Similarly, the activities performed in one's lifetime flash across one's mind at the moment of death and determines one's next life. Therefore, if one is present, activities are directed towards chanting, hearing, and remembering the Supreme Lord's transcendental name, along with descriptions of his beauty, qualities, pastimes, associates, and paraphernalia, then one's consciousness at the moment one leaves his body will automatically be attracted to the Lord. Therefore, devotees always remember him in all their activities, in their endeavors for food and safety, and even in the middle of the battlefield while fighting a war. Life being like a battlefield in which one may die at any time. The devotees remember him at every moment, and he willingly becomes the charioteer of their chariotic-like bodies. The activities of their bodies, mind, and words, and thus prompted by the Supreme Lord's will. And at the end, when they leave their gross and subtle bodies, they go directly to the spiritual sky.
So here the example has been given. Whatever we do, the day activities, it comes in the night as a dream. So whatever this whole activities or the whole life is like a dream. Whole life is like a field of activity. And when we will be going out of this body, that time the dream will be coming. Whatever the activities we are doing it right now, that will come in a surface while passing through a last moment of this life. That will be coming in a surface automatically. So the whatever the activities we are doing it, chanting, hearing, dancing in front of the Lord and serving the Lord, that will be recollected at the time of death. So the next, we will be taking the next shloka. Yam yam vapi smaram bhavam.
Yam yam vapi
Smaranabhavam.
Jajate ante kalevaram.
Levaram.
Tam tam evedi konteya.
Tamevanteya.
Sada tadbhava bhavita.
Tadbhava bhavita.
You can read this translation.
Prabhuji, I am reading. Whatever state of being one remembers when he quits his body, O son of Kunti, that state he will attain without fail. Here is the general rule. Krishna just explained that whatever one remembers at the time of death, he goes to that place. One who meditates on Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, his mind constantly engaged in remembering him, undeviated from the path, is sure to reach the Supreme Lord. Verse 8. In this verse, the Lord emphasizes that constant remembrance leads to remembrance at death. Srila Prabhupada explains in his purport to verse 6.
Yeah, please read.
Of course, one's thoughts during the course of one's life accumulate to influence one's thoughts at the moment of death. So this life creates one's next life. If in one's present life one lives in the mode of goodness and always thinks of Krishna, it is possible for one to remember Krishna at the end of one's life. Arjuna may think that is a very good advice. You are telling me to remember you that is a much better advice than you telling me to fight. I suggest remember you and not fight. But Krishna says.
So Arjuna is taking this advice, says that, oh, Krishna, I will be remembering at the time of death. Why are you telling me to fight right now? And Arjuna's this inner dilemma, Krishna understood it. And the next verse comes in. Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu.
Tasmat sarveshu
kalesu.
Amanusmara yuddhacha.
Amanusmara yuddhacha.
Ayyarpita mano buddhir.
Yarpita manobuddhir.
Mame vaishyasi samshaya.
Mamera vaishya sanshaya.
Arjuna's question, inner dilemma, Krishna is answering this. The last 8 shloka we will be covering, and then we will be ending up. Like another 2 shlokas we will be covering, and then we will end. So 7th shloka translation, somebody can read.
Hare Krishna Project. Therefore, Arjuna, you should always think of me in the form of Krishna and at the same time carry out your prescribed duty of fighting. With your activities dedicated to me and your mind and intelligence fixed on me, you will attain me without doubt. Commentary. Sometimes a question is raised among the devotees. Is it necessary to remember Krishna while you are doing your duty, or just doing your duty for Krishna is enough? Here, Krishna responds clearly to this question and also in 18.57. It is the practice mentioned in this verse that will allow one to remember Krishna at the time of death. The time of death is the most difficult situation, much more than while doing one's duty. Hare Krishna.
So this question arises in the mind of the people, those who are working. They say that, how can I remember Krishna and do my duty? Whether means like I should chant my holy name while doing a duty. This question was asked by Surabhi Maharaj while he was serving in Vrindavan temple and counting the cement bags. and he asked Prabhupada, Prabhupada, you told me to give, construct this temple, and I am every day in the morning to evening, morning to night, I am just counting the cement bags. That time it was like the cement bags were in scarcity in 1970s, and it was rarely coming to the Vrindavan temple. So Prabhupada was cautious and was really wanting the cement bags to come to the ISKCON temple. And he appointed Surbhi Maharaj that you please count it rightly, because the cement bags were very much precious. The people were doing malpractices of catching the lorry of the cement bags in between and taking the some cement bags. So Surbhi Maharaj was appointed as the in charge for counting the cement bags and reporting. And every time he was just thinking about cement bags. In the he was saying that in my japa also the cement bags were coming. So after some time, he asked the question to Prabhupada. Prabhupada, I am not thinking about Krishna. I am thinking about cement bags. What to do? Prabhupada says that, all right. In the form of the cement bags, the Krishna will be coming one day. Because what you are doing, you are following the instruction of your spiritual master. You are chanting 16 rounds. You are trying to chant 16 rounds, but you are doing the duty on behalf of your spiritual master. That's the priority. And who will be coming in this temple? Who are the swamis of this temple? Their lordship, Radha Shyam Sundar, Krishna Balram will be there. So when you are sacrificing something, you are doing something for the pleasure of Krishna, Krishna will make it sure at the time of your death, he will come. So while doing it, is you're conscious that for whose pleasure you are doing this seva. Not that it will be happening that every time, okay, I am writing a mail, oh Krishna, I'm just forgetting. No, you are writing a mail and Krishna is not coming in front of you. But one day, because you are writing the mail for the pleasure of Krishna, you are doing the service for the pleasure of Krishna. How the doing an outside materialistic job and it is a pleasure for the Krishna? Because you are taking care of your family, which is a Krishna's family. Krishnera samsara kari chhadi anachar. We are those who are the garhasthas. They should think in that state that this is not my samsar, this is not my family life, this is Krishna's family life. It is folk, family of Lord Krishna. So I am the part of the folk. I am playing my part. I am serving my wife. I am serving my husband. I am serving my kids. I am serving my parents. So it is a family of Krishna, and Krishna will be pleased if I am doing my part nicely. In that state, you are just thinking, then it is really a family of Krishna, and Krishna will remember you at the time of your death. And when Krishna is remembering you at the time of death, certainly you will remember Krishna. So last shloka. Abhyasa yoga yuktena.
Abhyasa yoga yuktena.
Tena
Gamina.
Chetasa namya
Gamina
Paramam purusham divyam.
Paramam purusham divyam
Yati parthanu chintayan.
Yati
chintayan.
Yes. Please read this translation.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Yes. He who meditates on me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, his mind constantly engaged in remembering me, undeviated from the path. He, O Partha, is sure to reach me. By this practice of always remembering Krishna, one can ever conquer his own nature. This means that according to the modes of material nature, we have different tendencies and we have different strains, different weaknesses, different attachments, different frailties. But here is the process of conquering limitations of our nature. But it takes constant practice and determination. Chapter 6. In the first section, Krishna answers Arjuna's questions and ultimately they culminate in how to remember Krishna, which is the second section, remembering Krishna at the time of death. The third section explains how to remember Krishna. This constant remembrance of the Lord is the topmost yoga.
So Yoga Mishra Bhakti, it will start from the next section. So, so Mataji was having some question.
Yes,
Please.
Prabhuji. In 8.5, why Krishna says one who understands the three Adhibhuta, Adidaiva, Adiyagna, he will attain my nature. Why he doesn't say he will attain me, Prabhuji? Why he says will attain my nature?
What exactly attaining the nature of the Krishna means what? Is what exactly a nature of Krishna? Krishna's nature is to love the supreme, like to love the living entities. So he will be also attaining the love for the Krishna. The nature of Krishna is to love. It is the eternal nature of the Lord to love the living entities. Okay. And somehow or other he has put up them into this material world. But he is more interested to take us back than we. So his nature is like that, to take every living entity back to him. So when he will be attaining my nature, so he will also be more interested to go back to God. Like
got
that. Okay.
Understood.
Okay. Hare Krishna, we can end up here, or somebody is having some queries, questions. Srila Prabhupada, yes.
One small question, Prabhuji. So this body and this life in this particular family got because of karma, and this bhakti we got because of devotee. That is a summary of some of the slokas, Prabhuji. Yeah, but in somewhere it is saying that the bhakti we got, it's not because of the karma what we have done. It is because of another bhakta, devotee.
Yeah, how we have got this, because there is a connection which has been mentioned in 7.30, where it has been mentioned about pious activities. Due to the pious activity, he will be coming to me. There we read that, na? Because of some pious activities, and that pious activities means bhakti unmukh sukrutis. We must have done something. We must have helped unconsciously, unwillingly, unintentionally some devotee, and that devotee must have prayed. So how the devotional service has started. Devotional service starts with the help of some devotees only. You are hearing the road Harinam Sankirtan, and you stood next to that, and you are whispering in your friend's ear how wonderful they are dancing. So that is the point of the turning. And Krishna noted that, oh, he appreciated the activity of my devotee, and he spoke also. Even that person has not spoken, but he is enjoying that, and he is making the photograph with the devotees. Oh, so wonderfully they are dancing. So that's why our outreach programs in that way, to make the jidnyasa of the people happen, or to make the people's heart with the sukrutis of the bhakti unmukha sukrutis, That's why we are going out in Harinam Sankirtan. By that, in one going out, the people are not becoming a devotee, but their seed is been sown. Oh, they are appreciating. They are making the photographs. After some time, some book distributor, some other devotees, his relative who is becoming a devotee, he will be touching that person, and that person will be doing. I know ISKCON. I know your people. They are chanting and dancing. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. So that person's sukriti is increasing, and that way, some devotees touch, he is getting more and more. And one day he will be coming to ISKCON and says that these people are really good. I also would like to be like them. Hare Krishna.
Thank you,
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
I go.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dandavat Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji. So we will be meeting on Friday.
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu. Friday we'll meet.
Yes. Hare Krishna.
Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.